Hey, what you say, food family? Mike here, and welcome back to the channel for another great culinary adventure. Today we're headed to Italy to make one of America's favorite things, pizza. I'm not talking about a regular pizza, of course, because we're going to be making a high-protein, low-carb, keto-friendly pizza casserole. It may be crustless, but it's even more delicious, so stick around and I'll show you how it's done. Let's get cooking. Alright folks, before we get started, I just want to say a couple things about this pizza casserole recipe today. By all means, you don't have to be on a high protein, low carb, keto diet to enjoy this. It's just a crustless pizza, so it makes it very kid friendly and adult friendly. And secondly, because it's a pizza casserole, you can use any sort of toppings you want. Today I'm going to be using ground beef and Italian sausage with some bell pepper, onion, pepperoni, and cheese of course. But if you're a fungus eater, by all means, put some fungus in there. If you want to do chicken, put chicken in there. The possibilities are endless. So I'm going to get started by browning off our meat today, this ground beef and Italian sausage. We're going to cook it about 3/4 of the way through until it's no longer pink. Alright folks, as you saw in that previous clip, we went ahead and browned off our ground beef and Italian sausage. We just took the pink out of it. You don't have to worry about it being fully cooked just quite yet because we will continue to cook this with some other ingredients. Now, while this was cooking, I went ahead and prepared our diced bell pepper and onion. It's about a 1/4 inch size dice, pretty small. You want to think pizza topping, so small dice, a little bit of knife work there, but you can get that done while this meat is cooking. And speaking of that, I did use 90-10 ground beef today because there's plenty of fat in that pork. If you use the 80-20 blend or something else, you may need to drain the excess grease from your pan. I don't see any extra in mine today, so I'm just going to let it be, and we'll continue on. So we're going to go ahead, we'll add our bell peppers, cook those for about 3 minutes. We'll add our onion for another minute or two, just to get the crisp bite off those, start to soften them up. And we're going to go ahead and season it with some red chili flakes, some granulated garlic, and some Italian seasoning. You can use whatever you like. I'm going to add the red chili flakes today, just add a little extra heat. But we'll get this bell pepper and onion cooking, get the meat seasoned, and head on to the next step. Alright folks, our base for our pizza casserole is done here. We got our ground beef, Italian sausage, bell peppers, onions, everything's cooked up, ready to go. The next thing we're going to do is add our pizza sauce and ricotta cheese. Now, if you are a strict low-carb keto diet, you're going to watch this pizza sauce because it can have a lot of hidden sugars in there that will raise the carbs and totally mess up this recipe for you. Otherwise, if you don't care, then who cares? Use whatever pizza sauce you like. Surprisingly, this Walmart brand generic pizza sauce has no sugar added. It's only 4 grams of carbs per serving. So we're going to end up, this is 6 servings. This whole pizza casserole ends up being about 8 servings. So you're going to get less than that. Same thing with your ricotta cheese. There's a few grams of carbs in there, but when you spread it out over the servings, you're not really getting that much. So we're going to go ahead, add our pizza sauce. And the ricotta cheese. And you can check the link in the description below. That will give you the exact amounts of these ingredients. Otherwise, we're just going to stir this together. And the heat of that sausage and ground beef and everything should help melt that ricotta cheese enough to get it spread throughout here. Alright, as you can see here, this is still a very thick mixture. It's not very liquidy at all. So when you add your liquid ingredients here, that tomato sauce, and your ricotta cheese, make sure you don't go overboard and overdo it, and it ends up a sloppy mess. You want it pretty tight. Alright, our base of our pizza casserole is ready to go. We'll go ahead and get this transferred to a baking dish, and then finish it off with some layers of pepperoni and cheese, and get that in the oven. Alright, as you can see in front of me, I got our meat mixture transferred to a baking dish. Now, I do have two of these actually because I want it a little thicker. You could use a 9x13 pan and get it all to fit in one, but I'm thinking 9x9 or 8-inch pan here just to keep it a little thicker, like a more casserole thickness when you go to bite into it when it's done cooking. So, on top of this meat mixture here today, we're going to be adding some mozzarella, some Parmesan, and some pepperoni, of course. Like I said earlier in the video, you can put whatever toppings you want on yours. So, I'm going to get started with the cheese layer. I'm going to go with some pepperonis. Alright, with our cheese and pepperoni added, I'm going to throw this in the oven, 375 degrees, let it bake for 20 minutes just so that cheese is melted. We'll pull it out, give it a taste test, and see how we did. Alright folks, one last thing right before we throw this in the oven. This is an optional step. I did add a little bit more cheese on top of that pepperoni. I like a lot of fresh herbs on my pizza, and just like this pizza casserole, we're going to just put a light dusting of Italian seasoning here on top. Now we'll get this oven and let it bake for 20 minutes. Alright folks, our pizza casserole's come out of the oven. It's been 20 minutes. I let it cool for about 10 minutes after that. Plated it up here. It is looking and smelling delicious. There's only one thing left to do. Give it a taste test and see how it turned out. This pizza casserole is absolutely amazing, folks. It has got a little bit of spice from those red pepper flakes. Great Italian flavors in that pizza sauce and the ricotta cheese. The mozzarella and the Parmesan on top completes it with that pepperoni. Oh my goodness. All I know is you need to click the link in the description below. That will take you to my website with the recipe card for this ultimate pizza casserole. It is delicious. It is kid friendly because they're going to love it. It's just crustless, but it's still delicious. If you like this sort of pizza casserole I made here today, be sure to give the video a thumbs up. That lets YouTube know that I'm out here putting out great content that you all enjoy and you want to see more of. It also gives me feedback that I'm bringing the right kind of fusion meals that you want to see so you can make yourself at your home for your friends and family. So that being said, Mike here signing off. Until next time, folks, just keep cooking.